Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's Damon yet again from Damon's Lists. It's Damon's List once again. We're on a list. Or actually, rather, no, it's not a list. I'm going to do another rebooking video. This time I will rebook SummerSlam 1989. And before I begin, I realized that basically I have to do an edit for the rebooking of SummerSlam 1988 because I mistakenly wrote 1998, which is 1988. So I will do this in the next few minutes. But first off, let's start with SummerSlam 1989, which was a very good SummerSlam. It's one that, quite frankly, I felt was very had a lot of good aspects, and there's a lot of moments or matches in this case that I would like for them to remain intact. However, I always thought like Mega Power, Hogan, basically the Mega Maniacs versus Macho Man and Zeus. Honestly, it's like a way to repeat the formula of Mega Bucks versus Mega Powers, and I felt in this case it didn't work as much. So, if anything, I think this could have been changed. But there's a lot of matches or moments that would not take away from that first for that from the original SummerSlam 1989 broadcast. For example, I would still start off the night with the Brainbusters against the Hart Foundation. Except in real life, it was a non-title match, which I thought was what the hell, man. Like it kind of made it weak. I kind of agree in Bret Hart's book that basically made it weak that they couldn't even win in an untitled match because champion there. We could at least could have the same ending with the Brainbusters beating the Hart Foundation, but would make it for the World Tag Team titles. Why not? It makes them not sound so much less than if they don't get a World Tag Team title match. So I would start off the opening match of SummerSlam 1989 with the Brainbusters defending and keeping the tag team titles over the Hart Foundation. In the second match of the night, like in real life, I would have Dusty Rhodes beat the Honky Tonk Man. Why not? Maybe the Dusty Rhodes opening or debut match, and I would have him win over the Honky Tonk Man. I cannot give him a huge feud right away since he's debuting on that night. Then I would have the Red Rooster face off against Bad News Brown because I don't think Bad News Brown was on that card. I would give him a match, and I would give him the win to Bad News Brown with his sense of Guri. Fourth match of the night, you have Mr. Perfect versus Paul Roma. Why not? Mr. Perfect, I think it was you continue his winning streak with a perfect flex. Again, a fine 7-minute match. So, are we there? Third of the card's done. And then you would have Rugged Ronnie Garvin versus Greg Valentine. I thought it was ridiculous that they did a retirement match for Rugged Ronnie Garvin on TV or Saturday Night Main Event, something like that. And I felt like, why can't you do it on pay-per-view? And you have Greg Valentine win there. So basically, to continue the feud, and basically, which leads to reinstatement of Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Because honestly, making a ring announcer, making a referee, kind of made it weak. So you could have Greg Valentine versus Ronnie Garvin, and they wouldn't be like the carrier on the line, which is basically if Rugged Ronnie Garvin loses, he you can basically have in different roles. Basically, you can be the janitor of Greg Valentine or something like that, or basically it makes sure that every other aspect, in every other way, you could see Rugged Ronnie Garvin interfere and cost Greg Valentine matches. So yeah. Now, what else we could have? You could have the Powers of Pain versus the Bushwhackers. Powers of Pain's can win. That's a six match. Then, like in real life, you can Hacksaw Jim Duggan Demolition, face and defeat Andre, Big Boss Man, and Akeem. When basically, due to help of the 2x4 of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So again, same length as real life, and honestly, the same kind of match as in real life. Then, look at the card. You could have uh you have 8-man tag, because I already have a 6-man tag, so I have an 8-man tag. Tito Santana, the Mighty Hercules, and the Rockers against Rick Martel, Dino Bravo, and Rougeos. I struggled to figure out who would be the fourth man in the team of Rick Martel's, but I figured, hey, let's have all Quebec guys. And like all of them entered the awesome Fabulous Rougeau team song. And like in real life, I would have Rick Martel's team win. and Rick Martel causing the win over basically delivering an illegal clothesline in the back of Mark Geneti's head, and that leads to the cover, the win for Team Martel. Then there's only 4 matches left. For the Intercontinental title, you get Ravish and Rick Rude defending against the Ultimate Warrior. This I keep exactly the same as in real life. Ultimate Warrior wins after a top rope German suplex, which I was amazed to see back in the day, and I was amazed to see it happening in 1989. Then you have basically Gorilla Press, the Super Splash 1, 2, 3. Then in the 10th match of the night, you would have Jimmy Snuka versus Aqua. I just want to give Aqua a win because screw Jimmy Snuka. And like in 7 minutes, Aqua wins with a trust kick. In the penultimate match of SummerSlam 1989, you have Brutus Beefcake versus Ted DiBiase. I don't do them often, but I feel like even today, I hate the fact that we don't have. Never thought I'd say that. It used to be like in the 80s, 90s, you had so many DQ finishes on pay-per-view, but now I kind of miss them. Now, I'm not going to say I want every match to be them, but sometimes a count on a DQ serve its purpose. And I thought I don't want Ted DiBiase to lose via pinfall, but Brutus Beefcake should get a count of win. So you can have Brutus Beefcake beating Ted DiBiase via countout after 12 minutes of actions. And Brutus Beefcake was in 1989, 1990 was pretty much a good wrestler. Like he knew how to get himself over. He was basically very over on his own. And why not add popularity? Like, despite common consensus this amount today that you need a backflip to get over. No, Bruce Beefcake knew exactly what to do to get over, to get popularity, basically to make a match make sense and make it seem fluid. So why not? And I would have in the main event of SummerSlam 1989 for the WWE title, Hulk Hogan with Brutus Beefcake. He returns to be in the corner of Hulk Hogan to defeat the Macho King Randy Savage, who has Queen Sherry and Zeus in his corner. So that's what I would do to book SummerSlam 1989. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.